Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's the Snapper Raccoon, and this is my Getting to Know Your YouTuber series. And on this episode, I have the Bipolar Bear. So, Robbie, introduce yourself.
What is going on, everybody? It is the Bipolar Bear, and today my elastic has gone in my underpants.
Thanks for that. So, so are they down by your ankles or just around your knees?
Well, I'm holding them together with a bit of sellotape.
Oh, jeez, these 90s kids. So, anyway, as I said, this is Getting to Your YouTuber series. If you don't know who the Bipolar Bear is, I suggest you check out the links in the description below and go over and check out his channel. And as he says, go give his videos a high paw. So basically, Robbie, we're going to ask you 4 questions, and then maybe if we've got time, we may ask you a 5th. So the first one is going to be, what was your first gaming memory?
Right, it's not necessarily my first, but it's probably the one that kind of got me into the whole thing.
That is?
And I can remember tell you the exact date. It was New Year's Day 2012. And I was staying at my girlfriend, mum and dad's house. We'd been in the pub and we crashed there that night. And I came downstairs in the morning to find her older brother, who was back from the army, playing Call of Duty MW3
Okay.
online. And I was quite intrigued by the whole thing because I'd always played like the campaigns on Call of Duty, but I'd never taken it online before. And watching him play that, and then later on that day, I ended up going home, getting an Xbox Live Gold account, and
Wow. As they say, the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2012. That seems kind of late.
Yeah, late bloomer.
I was going to say, kind of a late bloomer for something like that. It's New Year's Day 2012. God, I was even just about starting my channel. I started my channel in June 2012.
Yeah,
July
like I said,
2012. Wow.
I'd always played games like FIFA, the Call of Duty campaigns.
But
I'd never
you played them
online.
all offline kind of thing. It's the multiplayer. Okay, fair enough. I understand that.
Yeah, because I was never really into it as what I am now.
Yeah.
Because obviously I always used to play football, but until I got injured. So yeah, it kind of filled the void in a way. Because of having something competitive and doing something where you're competing against other people. Obviously I couldn't do it on a pitch anymore, so it kind of suited me.
Yeah,
to jump online and so yeah.
I can vouch for that because when I had my knee operation, I couldn't go outside and play football. I ended up just really going completely gamey tryhard pants on. Knee getting new pair for AW, really, to be honest with you. So anyway, so obviously, how long have you been on YouTube now? You've been on for
just under. Well, I started mid-April, but that was just uploading clips to the Xbox One.
Yep.
So I got a capture card about 5 months ago.
Okay, so in the last 5 months, what is the biggest benefit or change that you've seen in yourself since starting YouTube?
I think it's the commentaries more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's learning how to edit, and just you can see an overall improvement. Because if I go back to my first video that I commed over, it was just full of and just bad editing, bad cutting. And going back, watching a video from back then, which seems like ages ago now, it kind of feels like, who would watch that? Who in their right mind would sit through it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was bloody awful, but at the time, it was the best I could do. And
obviously, everyone has to improve.
Yeah, they do, and you can see it over time, but I kind of forgot what the original question was.
The original question was, what has been your biggest benefit, change that you've seen since starting YouTube? It's like, obviously, I've talked about in previous commentaries about myself when I felt more confident about talking to other people and being more expressive with my voice. So obviously, you're kind of a confident guy. Well, you come across as a confident guy yourself. So have you seen any kind of confidence, not exactly issues, but improvements since?
It's a tricky one because I always have to talk to people in my day job. I'm forever talking to strangers, so it was never a big deal. I tell you what, actually, receiving criticism.
Okay.
It's probably being able to receive criticism better is definitely where I've seen the improvement overall of like how I take it into real life from what I've learned from YouTube.
Okay, that's a very good, especially with YouTube, with the keyboard warriors and such.
Yes,
accepting criticism and being able to brush some of them off and seeing which ones are the true. I want to say critics, but critics doesn't sound right. But true people who want to see you improve.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a big. A lot of people say there's a very thin line between negative feedback and criticism,
Yeah.
and criticism's generally along the borderline of very, very picky and something that you just need to get over. Whereas, negative feedback is obviously the people who do want to see you do better, want
Yeah.
you to improve, etc., etc.
Yeah, and it's always a fine line, and we know with YouTube that depending on your mindset on that particular day, you can go one way or the other, or
Yeah.
depends on whether it's in caps lock or not. Um,
Yes. Don't
okay,
caps lock me, please.
yeah, just don't do the caps lock thing. So, question number 3? What motivates you to game or create videos? Is there a specific thing, or is it just you just love to do it?
Um, I just enjoy doing it. I mean, I was kind of getting in a whole slump with the whole gaming thing anyway.
Yeah,
I was kind of getting to the point, you were just playing for no reason, and now it kind of gives you a reason to go on and play more and play better and to improve and yeah, and just enjoy it. So when you play it, it's like, oh yes, I just had a great gameplay, and now I can just show it to everybody and talk over it, and people really enjoy it or don't enjoy it at all. But I think that's for me, yeah, just gives me more of a reason to get jamming and playing different games as well.
yeah. It's also it's very good to meet new people as well. I find that it's like the people I play with make me want to, or people I socialize around make me want to do videos as well, because it's like you see them doing something and you're just like, yeah, that's pretty damn awesome. I think I can do something similar to that, but also you just see people around you. Obviously, you speak to people, gaming people all the time, and they'll just
Yeah,
come to you and just go like this. You know what? That was a really funny thing you just said, or that would make an interesting video, giving you the ideas to go and do it. It's quite
yeah.
cool.
I
So
mean, you definitely start picking up ideas from everywhere now you're
yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah.
correct. And so it looks like we have got time for 2 questions, so we're going to ask you the full 5. If you could change one thing about YouTube, what would it be?
Hey, bro, great video. I've subbed. If you like Call of Duty videos, please come and check out my channel.
Okay,
That
so
is my biggest gripe.
so you're taking the piss out of me. I'm
No,
winding you
right.
up. I'm
Yeah.
winding you up. Yeah,
Shots fired. Right.
yeah.
I see my YouTube channel as a hotel or a bed and breakfast, as you will. And every video is a room to that hotel. I'm going off, just bear with me a second. This will
Okay,
make sense.
okay, okay.
And in that hotel room, i.e., being a video, there is a guest book just on the table. Very nice table, by the way. I spent a lot of money on it, varnished and everything. And in that guest book, I want people to come and say, "Oh yeah, room was fantastic. It was clean. Beds were really comfortable. Free porn on the telly. Loved it. Great stay. I'll come back again." Or therefore, some people come in and say, "Well, killers were hard as shit.
Yeah,
The shower was cold, and the bog wouldn't flush. So I won't be coming back here again."
I'm still laughing at the free porn on the telly.
What you don't want in that hotel is someone coming in and say, "Oh yeah, had a great night's sleep. Thanks very much for having me. By the way, I've got a hotel down the road. Would you and your guests like to come stay over at my place one night?"
it's I've never heard that analogy be used, and I will have to use that again. That is a very damn good analogy of a YouTube video comment section. That's in theory that's what we all want.
Yeah,
We all want people to say, yeah, the beds are nice, or saying, you had on the bed, you had purple covers. Could you possibly have something a bit less
exactly.
plum?
Yeah,
You don't mind that kind of criticism, as we went
no.
into before, but yeah, I hadn't heard it like that. I just thought he said had the table varnished and all that. I thought, where's he going with this?
But no, that's my biggest the bullshitters are my biggest problem.
Yeah, it's right up there with the sub. It's right up there with the sub for sub tweets.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done it in the past. I have done it. I think we've all done it at some
yeah.
point.
I mean, I
To be
tried the
perfectly honest
sub
with
for sub thing because I was just kind of at a loose end with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be easy.
what,
When I got to catch
YouTube
up
or the
on
sub for sub thing?
YouTube and getting
Right.
subscribers and
Okay. Fair enough.
etc. etc. I thought the whole thing was going to be easy, and then obviously you invest in it. I invested in a new laptop capture card, and you start. And it's like, shit, this
It,
is actually going to take a lot of effort and a lot of
yeah.
work.
I think that's what a lot of people don't really see. behind YouTube. And I think that is the underbelly of YouTube. It's the harsh reality that not everyone with a capture card can go and do this thing called
No.
YouTube and make the millions and millions of PewDiePie pounds.
Mm.
Because it is different. You have got to have, I mean, especially we all know with the way of the internet as well, with our internet speeds, that the uploads alone take up an absolute chunk of our time.
Right. I will tell you now. There are kids in third world Africa, right, who can't get water. But my God, when Ewan McGregor goes over, he can show them a video of them getting water on his iPad with less buffering than me.
Yeah. But it is one of them. It's the editing process, being able to go in rather than just doing a video and putting it straight up. The editing to make sure it's right, then start talking.
Yeah.
Of having a cohesive argument with yourself through a commentary is one of the things that I still struggle with today,
Yeah.
and constantly improving, well, trying to improve, should I say? So
No,
it's one of them that you get to the stage where you're thinking, Jesus hell, this is difficult, and we all go through that. The people who go through that phase and come out the other side still doing it are ones that are going to stay around for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you got the right mental attitude to attack this thing called YouTube's.
Yes.
So, last question.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, I've got another question after that, but
yeah, go for it.
If you could be any character from any game ever, who would you be?
That's a good question. Oh, that is a very good question. You know, I'd go for Dalton off Infamous Second Son.
Okay, I haven't played that one, but
he is a dick, but he is the coolest dick going. He's just mint. He's a cracking character. He kind of really carried the game because the plot and the storyline of it wasn't that great. Whereas, but the character, Dalton, was, he had a bit of an attitude, but it was witty, it was funny, and it was a person you wanted to be around. Unlike somebody, say, like Aiden Pierce in Watch Dogs, where the game was great, the story was great, but you just had no connection with the character whatsoever.
Yeah, a bit, and I think that was just down to the collar because you just couldn't see anything about him. But no, exactly. That was it. So yeah, obviously now the last question, I've been meaning to ask this. I'm sure you've answered it before. Where the hell did Bipolar Bear KO come from?
I was dreading this question. Right. Whole Bipolar Bear thing came about was because my old gamer tag was Robbie PVFC.
Yeah.
And what had happened is, when you know what it's like when you first start playing Call of Duty, they're not the nicest of people.
Really?
Well, funnily enough, yeah. Apparently, I didn't know my mum was such a slag till a 12-year-old told me on Xbox Live. Apparently, she puts it about everywhere. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah. And basically what it was, for the first 6 months of my Call of Duty, I was getting my ass pounded so bad. Yeah. And then I'd lose on Call of Duty as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I went there, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah. So what happened is like, oh, that Robbie lad shit, this Robbie lad, yeah, PVFC are crap and all the rest of it. And I was always thinking about, what new games I could have go with. I mean, I've always been a big fan of polar bears. Ever since the first time I saw one at SeaWorld, it was like mesmerized. And I heard it all kind of came about because I was listening to, believe it or not, I was listening to a Stoke City match. And they were on about at the Bear Pit Britannia.
Yeah.
So, and slowly as I started getting better at free-for-all, I was playing a lot of free-for-all at this point, as I was starting to get better and I was starting to just wipe the floor with people over time. And then if you get shit and I'd say, yeah, well, you know what, if you don't like it, get out the Bear Pit.
Yeah.
And it felt dirty as hell using that. And I kind of wanted to escape the whole Robbie PVFC thing into, I kind of like the whole idea of polar bears, and I also like the idea of Bear Pit. And then, I don't know, it just kind of clicked, the whole bipolar bear thing clicked. And that's where it came from.
No, it's a cool story, bro.
Yes, it's a long one, but that's how it came about. It took quite a long process for me to get to, from that to this.
Yeah, I was going to say, is the KO just kickoff?
The KO thing was, it was the knockout, because I used to watch a YouTuber. He's huge now. At the time, he was pretty small when I started watching YouTube, called KYR Speedy.
Right.
I think everybody knows who that is.
Nope.
Really, he's got like 6 million subs now, dude.
Dude, I only heard of PewDiePie like 6 months ago.
I don't even watch him.
Yeah.
I've heard he's Swedish. I'm really not interested. And yeah, basically, when his MW3 vids, he used to do a thing called voice chat trolling sorry. And in the 3v3 where it was all game chat and they could hear them rage him once he killed him, he'd do some stupid ways of killing him and knife him. And then in the background, you do like, you got knocked the fuck out. And it would I would piss myself every time. And on every single one of his videos, when he was doing that, it'd happen. And he put it on, and that's where I put the KO in the end.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can't fault you for that. So, anyway, yeah, so that's pretty damn cool. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Bipolar Bear KO, or Robbie. So, I'd like to thank you very much, man, for spending the time with me to come and do this interview.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you very much for having me.
One thing I will say is, guys, if you haven't checked out his channel by now, please go and do so now. The gameplay that's been in the background is all off Robbie's channel. So obviously you just have to go over and listen to his voice and listen to the style of his commentaries. So I'd like to again thank Robbie for joining me, and I'd like to thank you all for taking part in the series, and I'll see you on the next video. See you later, guys. Tra.